I guess you'll be happy to hear that when pressed about what they've achieved and success of last year, Kyle said immediately, we didn't get rings. And Mari went ahead and said, we went to the Eastern Conference Final, we didn't achieve anything. Is that the kind of drive that you expect out of your players?
No question. Again, we didn't. I mean, and plus, it's a new year where everybody's 0-0. Last time I checked the records, and it's a new season. It's got to be a new, re-energized approach. A chip on your shoulder. And again, you can't come. You saw what happened to Golden State last night. You think San Antonio cared anything about what they did last year? So nobody cares at all. Because as a matter of fact, everybody's sitting back waiting just to be able to whether it's to write or to be able to see what you do. And you know, I've been through it too many times not to expect that. And so the only thing you can do is to go out and have that chip on your shoulder as you had last year and not expect. Nobody's going to, give you anything. Matter of fact, you're going to have a big bullseye on your back.
Is that a point you've lost as a wake-up call?
It should be. It should be. The way they got embarrassed, I mean, it should be a wake-up call for anybody, that anybody can be beaten this league at any time, at any place, and last year doesn't amount to a hill of beans. And even Cleveland, they won the ring last year, but this is a new year. So we all have to have that approach. I have the approach. I know the players do. So it's a new day.
Is that a point you found yourself having to make in the locker room, or your veterans
No.
sort of doing it?
Well, no, we've made it a few times. We didn't have to make it, but
Sure.
they chose to do it, and players there are smart enough and to understand it, and that the magical season. No, that was only magical last year. And that's what it's about.
You made a call on power forward?
No, not yet. No.
Overall, how comfortable are you with this group that you have and the team you have going forward?
I'm very comfortable. They're who we are. It's like family. Sometimes you get mad at them, you don't like them, and get upset with them, but they're your family, and so they're ours, and we're excited, anxious, again, to make sure we come back with that chip and edge that you got to have, and so we're ready to roll.
And the rookies that are going to have to step up because of the injuries, are they hearing the message as well, and they kind of understand it?
Well, they should. I think they should. You have to ask them. It's been preached to everyone, and they're included in that, so they have to understand. And whether they're going to be ready or not, who knows? I mean, who knows what a rookie's going to do? It's his first NBA game. I'd be surprised if he knew exactly how it's going to go. So you can tell them, but until they go through the fire and go through the pressure wash, then you find out what you have.
Is Lucas out tonight?
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. He's going through this morning, so we'll see.
Dwane, Damari touched on the familiarity of the team. Does it make it a bit easier having the same group of guys to coach this year?
It is. Continuity is huge in the NBA. San Antonio is a great example of that. Whether it's play calls, defensive rotations, defensive responsibility, terminology, you get an edge with that. Now you got to take advantage of it. You got to take advantage of it. You can't just go out there and say, okay, we've been together now for years and assume that it's going to work out. You got to go out there and still do the job. So it's only an advantage if you make it an advantage.
Do you sense a difference in those guys that you've been around now for a number of years, even though they haven't accomplished what you guys are trying to accomplish? After going through what they did last year, do you get a sense that their approach is different, that their mentality or mindset is different?
I do, Jai. I think they know, they're mature. Just like Kyle and DeMar coming here saying last year is not, it's last year. That's a sign of maturity. And the trust factor, they've been through it before, that the fact that, they understand the moment, they understand what they're about to go through. From that standpoint. So the maturity level is there, and just because we went through the battles years past, good and bad, you got to learn from those.
Damari had said the toughest thing of playing some four is knowing the plays because he's used to being a wing and stuff. How long do you think that'll take for him to pick up that?
Well, it shouldn't, because he did it last year. The games he played last year, he played some four, and so he should know, Ryan, the plays, and it's nothing, it's not rocket science, so he should be able to understand. The main thing that he's got to do at that position is rebound. He's got to come in and give us some rebounds, some toughness in the paint, which, should be his forte. And offensively, you know, spacing is important at the 4 when he's at the 4 position. So it's not anything out of the realm of understanding that he, you know, can do. But we'll make sure that if he feels that way.
Dwane, how much of an asset can he be for you?
Who, Damari? A healthy Damari should be huge. Just his versatility, his defensively, we've got to have someone who can take the best offensive player on the other team. It's him. It takes some of the pressure off of DeMar, having to guard that person, or T. Ross or Norm. You know, it's a big role. That's one reason why we signed him last year, is to do that job. You know, do all the dirty work, and it's not going to be glamorous as far as scoring, shooting the ball. We don't run plays for him, but his job description is to make sure he defends the best player on the other team, give us some grittiness, maybe go over to the 4 some when need be, and it's probably going to be quite a bit here in the next few weeks. Just seeing how, you know, Pascal comes around. If he doesn't, then it's going to be more minutes for Damari at the 4.
Except for power forward, can Norm give some of that stuff that Damari gives? The grit,
He does,
defense?
right. At his position, the 2-3, he can do that.
Did everyone like the roll cards?
Well, I didn't have any response. I mean, we gave them 3, 1 for themselves, 1 for their agents, 1 for their better halves. So, you know, hopefully one of the 3 will make sure they get the message. But one of my pet peeves is reading the newspaper, or I don't know my role. You know, if they ask you guys that, just say, check your card, check your roll card. And, you know, so the coach told us you had a roll card. So, and believe me, it works out.
Do you still get excited about opening night?
I do, if you don't, something's wrong. I get excited, I get nervous, I get anxious, I get mad. I want to use another word, but I get mad. You know, just that, you know, if guys don't feel like guys are edgy enough or upset enough, that you know, that comes out. So yeah, I do, and that's a sign of excitement.
Coming off the success of last season, is it different for you to motivate this team, or is it the same?
No, it's the same. I've forgotten last year until someone brings it up, Nate, and so it's one of those things where I'm pissed off, mad about tonight, you know. So that's kind of been my mindset from the first day of training camp.
2 years ago, you had a great failure, like against Washington, to kind of remind guys. And then last year, I mean, sure, it's disappointing you lost, but overall the season's a success. So what's an easier way to kind of get under guys' skin?
Well, to let them know where they rank us this year, Mike. I mean, nobody ranked us in the top 3 or it was 4 or 5 or whatever it was. Nobody is talking about Toronto. Someone said that one telecast didn't even mention our names. So that should upset you, that nobody's even talking about us in the top 2 or 3 in the national media in the States. So that should be a motivational factor. So it shouldn't take much, you know, to understand what the rest of the league feels, how they feel about us. I mean, we feel that we did something last year, but I don't know if anybody in the so-called media in the States feels that way.